In the game.
He still took the shot. All right, we'll get back to more basketball as we go, but let's get to the NFL. It is official. That's Antonio Brown. He's an Oakland Raider, and he wasted no time greeting his new quarterback, Derek Carr, yesterday. They were chatting, then he was running routes. Brown comes to Oakland with lofty goals. Here's what he says he plans to accomplish in the silver and black.
My goal really is to catch Jerry Rice. I'm playing with a guy like Coach Gruden. Obviously, you know what it takes to keep me upright and fresh, and to keep me out there for a long time. So, you know, securing this challenge is a challenge every year to prove my love for the game. I'm just here to encourage, to set a tempo. Every catch I make, I'm going to the end zone. I'm jogging back. You guys will get to know me, and I hope every guy in the line behind me going to take that same approach, because if we all hold each other accountable, we'll be a better organization. And it's not about me being successful, it's about the organization being successful. I think if the organization's successful, then I'll be successful.
Well, let's just start very quickly with the idea that he wants to catch Jerry Rice. You may think Jerry's records are unassailable. Think again. Antonio Brown is ahead of Jerry Rice's pace at this point in their careers in both of those categories, in catches and in yards. And by the way, his coach, John Gruden, coached Jerry Rice as an assistant in San Francisco and as a head coach in Oakland. And so I will welcome back the Dans, who felt slighted earlier in the program, but they've been terrific all week, Graziano and Orlovsky. And that sort of staged photo op that they had,
oh, man,
where Antonio Brown and Derek Carr were greeting each other. What did you think of that?
It was awkward. It was like, what's up, man? What's up, man? How you doing? I'm good. What's up? How you doing? How you feel? I'm good. What's up?
Like friends now?
Can we get somewhere? And then they're thrown in the backyard.
It was like the beginning of Step Brothers.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward. But that statistic with Jerry Rice is pretty impressive. That Antonio Brown has got that many more catches and 1,000 more yards. So I was encouraged by his press conference, although he was late supposedly. But the interaction with Derek Carr, you hope grows a little bit on the field compared to what it was in the house.
You have made the point repeatedly, though, this week, and for those of you who haven't been here, that the contract sort of sets up so that Derek Carr really has 1 year to make this work. They got him weapons. They got him people to work. They've given him everything he could possibly need to reestablish himself as a top-level quarterback, and he has 1 year to do it.
Yeah, he does, and there's more years on the contract. So if he performs well, they have mechanism in place to keep him. You know, Antonio
but only 1
Brown,
year is guaranteed.
Only 1 more year is guaranteed. Antonio Brown has got to help. And by the way, the Tyrell Williams signing yesterday is even more helpful, because that is a complementary piece to what Antonio Brown does. And obviously, they've gotten a lot better at receiver. You talk about encouraged by the press conference. Where's the crazy guy with the yellow mustache that's been yelling at us for the last couple of months?
He's all business.
Was
man.
that all an act
Yeah.
to get himself traded to Oakland? And now we're going to see the Antonio Brown that we used to see in Pittsburgh, quiet and productive and happy and kicking everybody's rear end.
Well, he got his money, and so we would think that he'll be out there to play and to lead. And the question is, how confident are you, because I feel like you've kind of vacillated on this, that Derek Carr is the quarterback to lead the Raiders going forward?
I'm pretty confident that he's the guy of their future. And I've been outspoken that Derek Carr has been a really successful quarterback in the NFL when he's had good players around him, when he's had Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree. Well, now he's got Tyrell Williams, like we talked about, who's a little bit of an unknown guy, but a really good player, and obviously Antonio Brown. And so we've talked about this is his 1 year. I believe in Derek Carr as a franchise quarterback, and now it's his opportunity that he's got those weapons to go and prove it, that, listen, I'm the guy. Because John Gruden, that we know, if Derek Carr doesn't have a big year, there's no more excuses, and Gruden's not going to allow it, and he'll move on quickly. So it's a huge year for Derek Carr.
Yeah, they still have a bunch of draft capital. It'll be very interesting to see what John decides to do. Let's talk about another quarterback whose future is very much in a state of flux, and that is Eli Manning on the now clearly rebuilding New York Giants. The team has an interesting decision. They could save $17 million in cap space by dumping Eli, and it literally would be doing that. They'd have to release him this week. Dan Graziano, you had a terrific piece that I read last night on ESPN.com, and there were two very important quarterback-related points on the Giants that I would like you to make here for those who didn't see it.
They have a $5 million roster bonus due for Eli Manning on Sunday. They do not plan at this point on releasing him before then. They feel like they're going to go with him this year. Now, could plans change? Of course, but Sunday's 3 days from now, so you'd think the plans would be in motion. Number two, based on the reporting I've done, I don't think they're 100% sure that they're going to take a quarterback in the first round of this year's draft. They know they have to address, and Dan's shaking his head, they know they have to address the situation of Eli Manning's long-term successor. They are aware of that. But they haven't finished their evaluations on Kyler Murray, Dwayne Haskins, Drew Lock, all those guys. So right now they're not 100% sure. And I don't get the sense that they're going to just take a quarterback because they didn't take one last year and they feel like they have to. They know that whoever succeeds Eli Manning has to be the franchise quarterback, and they can't get that decision wrong. So they could use those 2 first-round picks to help rebuild that defense. You know, they've lost a lot of pieces on defense, and this is a defense-heavy draft. And they could hit the draft next year where the quarterbacks look like they might be better. They could trade for Josh Rosen if he's available. So they know they have some options, and they're sorting through that.
The whole situation makes me think of a story. So I'm not a Carr person. I don't really care them that much. I had a Jeep Wrangler. This is a couple years ago. I have a Jeep Wrangler. All of a sudden, the check engine light goes on. I don't pay attention to it. I'm that idiot who doesn't pay attention to it. Months go on. The check engine light's still on. I don't pay any attention to it. The signs are there that something bad is going to happen. The performance of my vehicle is going down. All of a sudden, I'm on the streets of Detroit driving to a Tigers game, and my car stops. The Jeep Wrangler turns off in the middle of the highway. This is what's going on with Eli and the Giants.
Yeah.
The check engine light is on. The signs are there that the performance is decreasing, and you better fix it or you're going to be stranded in the middle of the highway. And so to have the thought process like, oh, we're not going to take a quarterback this year. You had the 2nd pick last year, and you have the 6th and 7th team this year. It's not like you have the last pick of the 1st round and you've got to reach for somebody.
Can I ask you a question? Because when Ben McAdoo unceremoniously benched Eli Manning and ended his streak, it was so badly handled, and the reaction from the fans was so angry and ugly. Is that influencing this now? Are they scared to do something with Eli that will look bad?
I don't think it's that. I think it's a bigger picture thing. If you looked at this neutrally, in a vacuum, this player has this amount of money due, is this age, and the team is rebuilding, you would say, well, you cut him, you save your $17 million. It's Eli Manning and the Giants. It's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. It's a guy who may be the best quarterback they've ever had, or certainly one of them. He's going to be in the Ring of Honor. To just dump him when you don't have another option right now to save some money would be, to borrow Jalen Rose's term, it wouldn't be very classy.
You let Eli mentor him.
If you're going to keep Eli, the only reason to keep Eli right now is to allow him to mentor a young kid. Well, the Colts got rid of Peyton Manning. Now, listen, I know there was an injury aspect, but the Colts parted from Peyton Manning maybe too soon because they knew, listen, the time is now for us to look for our future. If you're going to keep Eli, you better draft a young quarterback that he can mentor.
Colts parted with Peyton Manning also because he was hurt, which Eli has never been. They know this is a guy that can look. Someone's got to take the snap from center and throw the ball, right? They believe he can play better behind a better offensive line. They think Kevin Zeitler helps with that. And Saquon Barkley is their franchise right now. He's not going to play better with me. Eli's job is going to be here. Saquon, here, take the ball. That's it for 1 year.
We're going to play receiver for the Giants this year.
All right, well,
3
listen,
of us.
I got great hands. There's one guy they might consider drafting, and we are hearing now a little bit that maybe they like him, and that is Kyler Murray. Scouts from every team in the NFL were at Oklahoma yesterday to watch Murray's pro day. He weighed in at 205. Threw for scouts, did not measure. Before we talk about that, let's hear from Kyler himself on his own performance yesterday.
I thought it was good. I was coming out here trying to throw 40 to 50 balls. I think I threw, maybe 20 plus over that. But, I was feeling good. The guys were having fun. We had fun. It was fun.
Obviously, the goal today was to come out and throw and go through all of that. What went into the decision to not run and jump and do some of the other stuff?
I feel pretty confident in my athletic ability as far as running fast on the field, getting out of the pocket, to make stuff happen with my legs. So after the combine, I got a lot of advice from a lot of people and just felt like it was best that just come out here and throw the ball.
All right, here are the numbers on Kyler Murray. He can throw it from wherever he wants to throw it. He led the country last year in yards per attempt, both throwing inside the pocket and outside the pocket. His college career is unassailable. He was brilliant. He won the Heisman, and that is not up for debate. Let's start by talking about what he did do yesterday. What did you see when he threw the ball?
Effortless. Everything he does is effortless. The ball comes out of his hand, effortless. The velocity, effortless. The accuracy, effortless. So an incredibly impressive performance, but that's what it should be. I mean, most quarterbacks in college football are going to go out on a pro day and throw the football well. But just the lack of this is difficult for me. When he throws, he looks like he was born to pick up a football and throw it. It's just incredibly easy to him.
All right, let me turn to you, Graziano. He didn't run the 40-yard dash. Is that a big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal, but people wonder why. I mean, this is a guy, you would think the 40, much like the throwing, would be a place where he could really impress, right? Everybody knows he's fast, so a lot of scouts and people who go to these things were excited to see him run the 40 and put a small number up. But he didn't do it. So things
How about
are
the fact that he's gained all this weight?
Right, that's
want to see
weird,
him
right?
run at
Now,
205?
if you gained all this weight and you're not thinking you're going to run as fast as
He's the fastest
as you could,
person on tape every week.
right? So
Is he 15 pounds heavier than he was when he played?
stand on
20
that,
pounds
right?
heavier?
That's the whole point. Stand on that. And stand and don't do anything that could hurt you. If you're 205 and you were playing
Here's
at
the
190
thing,
whatever, and you run a tick slower, that's going to hurt you.
But at worst, Kyler Murray's low 4.5s. At worst, he's a low 4.5 quarterback. Probably a 4.4 quarterback. He didn't need to do any of that.
Maybe we are spoiled by Baker Mayfield last year just saying, I'll do everything.
Yeah,
but it does feel
probably.
like Kyler Murray has made a point of doing the absolute minimum.
And for me, that's more about Baker. That's what made Baker special and has made Baker special. I can see going, hey, if you are that fast, why aren't you running?
Yeah.
You know, I get all that, but he measured where he needs to be. Aunt Becky from Full House did not pay for him to be taller at the combine.
Oh, you did go there.
Legit number.
I cannot believe he brought that up. Felicity Huffman had nothing to do with this. Super quick. Did he make himself the number one pick? Did you see enough to take him number one and you're comfortable with it?
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to talk more about this as we go. Meanwhile, after a week of huge moves in the National Football League, which teams won, which teams lost? We will answer those questions coming up on Get Up this morning. And remember these guys? Duke and Zion. They're taking the floor in the ACC tournament. Zion is expected to return. Should he be playing? That answer on the way. Get Up.